și cu George, după cum vedeți, cu o experiență consistentă în domeniu, o să ne povestească despre câteva din posibilele probleme care apar atunci când într-o organizație ai deja o abordare Agile, implementată, acceptată, cu termeni cunoscuți, cu termeni usitați. Haideți să vedem dacă ne prindem din prezentarea lor ce poate să nu meargă așa de bine, chiar și atunci când organizația a acceptat și a îmbrățișat o astfel de abordare Agile. Nu mai vă răpesc din timp și dau cuvântul băieților.
Hello everyone. For some reason we're going to speak in English, just for you to know. So, let me check. Include this thing didn't work, so we wanted to join you today here and have a bit of chat around what could go wrong in enterprise Agile, in implementing Agile, maybe in the larger projects and larger organizations, and what could we do about it? Sitting together with you and explore some scenarios, what could happen, and looking to potential solutions. Let's just explore it together. We are part of the 1,000 team strong that Endava services that the organization has, and we are part of this organization that delivers IT services, solutions, software, testing, and application support across Eastern Europe, London, and United States market. And we are proud to utilize our Agile methodologies and iterative methodologies in delivering those projects.
Hi. Hi.
Shout louder.
Easy to hear. Okay, so hi guys, my name is Cristian. I'm basically my job is to coach Scrum Masters to help and grow agile teams all over the group, and most important to ensure our agile projects got delivered successfully.
And seeing that I'm his clone or something like that, I do basically the same thing. We are helping clients into Agile transformations. We are making sure that they understand the Agile values when they are implementing in their project, and we help them evolve those and implement those in their particular context. So today, what we want to do is just take a look at some of the potential scenarios that could happen into us implementing this Agile methodology with a new client. So sometimes that really doesn't kind of work. So we want to just check with you if sometimes we see a plane in flames, what do we do? How do we save that crash? How do we make sure that we don't all die in there? And how about when we work with a poor product backlog? That happens to a lot of us all the time. And how about when the product owner is unable to take decisions and it's stalling the team and it's stalling the progress? How about when we're working with a client that is partly committed to Agile, they say that they are going to do Agile, they love all those Agile benefits and they love all the buzzwords, they love the empowered team and they love those things, but they kind of don't want to do their part on it. And how do we react to that? What can we do? So we just want to explore this with you and try and have some answers.
Okay, so I recently started to work with this new customer from the financial sector. With their London office, they are undergoing a massive 3 years program, which is a B2C portal, a brand new back office application which integrates and streamlines over the dozens of mission critical legacy systems across their banking, global banking business. Some of the systems are Java based, some .NET based, and a lot of legacy AS400 and COBOL. I know all of you know what AS400 and COBOL means. They have unit tests, but the coverage is low. Their system integration is mostly manual. They are new to Agile, but they are very keen to go this path. They've engaged my company as Agile transformation and delivery partner. My name is Jack. I'm the Scrum Master for 7 teams working with this customer on delivering this project. And we are now in 6th sprint. Some of these went well, some of these not so great. what we would like is to take a look together and see what we can do about it.
Hey, looking good, Jack, looking good.
Hey Oliver.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, yeah, all good?
Hey, it's much better when I come here in your office and I see this progress. It looks much clearer. It's helping me understand a lot around this. You know, when you guys are video dialing me from my London office, this looks like this big on my monitor. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, thank you very much for the appreciation. I put a lot of effort in keeping the board up to date daily. So I was just adding some new tasks on the board. After the interim demo we had yesterday, you kind of touched on.
Yeah, that was a great thing. I mean, you guys just kind of did that interim demo. Me and my team have looked at the new scenario over there. It looked great, and we just saw new things. We saw how we can improve that user story, and we just talked to you about it. You added it, and now it's on the board. It's great. I love the Agile thing.
Yeah, Agile is really great. Unfortunately, there are also some implications of doing this type of stuff in the middle of the sprint. So by adding this task, please notice the bump in the burn down. There is a big bump.
Yeah, nice bump.
So I was actually looking at this very big user story. I was quite surprised. I let this 20 story points user story get into the sprint in the first place. Anyway, I wanted to propose to actually split this user story into maybe 2 or 3 smaller user stories and take one of two of them out from the sprint.
Wait a minute, Jack. I mean, bump and everything and the splitting of the thing, but taking stuff out. I mean, what do you mean about that? You know, we've agreed that we have that interim demo in the review. I'm going to invite all the key stakeholders I work with. We need to show them the stuff of taking stuff out.
So I tried to explain already. It's not good to commit before the sprint end, and it's even more than this. So you know, the design agency, they got the wireframes for the desktop application, but for the tablet one, they are still working on it.
Right.
And I need to add more tasks on the burn down tomorrow.
Right. So, true. I love those guys. It's just like you guys. I mean, yesterday we gave them the new acceptance criteria, the new scenarios. Today, the new wireframes. They gave it to you. I love them a lot. I wanted just to kind of just say something about this. It's not no biggie, Jack. I just want to talk about it. They've complained to me a bit about you kind of setting up too many meetings. You're always meetings. Just let them work.
Yeah, they are quite good, yeah. Okay, so in Agile, basically key is communication for the success of the project, so that's why these meetings, but there are not so many meetings, although they are complaining. I've actually set up a meeting for the next week to actually discuss and clarify this with you. You still are,
Yeah, that's a funny meeting you set up next week. What's with that grooming stuff that you put in there? Is like we are going tribal and doing the dance thing, or what's the grooming? Okay, so that was one of the things that could happen to us in an Agile world. And now let's focus together on what we saw over there, what we saw in this scenario. Focus please on the situations, a bit less on the behaviors. You know, we are professional actors and we do the IT things just for a hobby, but let's focus a bit more on the situations and everything else. And what we're trying to do is just see together and write down some of the stuff that we've seen in there, some of the crashes as we saw them. So what were a couple of things that you've noticed that maybe are not quite good in this Agile world?
There was a change in the middle of the sprint.
Okay, good.
Very good one.
So we have gifts, and this is an encouraging gift, so please participate.
The Scrum Master accepts user stories in the sprint and not the group.
Okay.
Scrum Master controlling.
Yes.
Adding tasks.
Okay, so the Scrum Master was updating the board instead of letting the team do this.
Good ones.
Anything else?
Meetings about meetings.
About meetings, too many meetings?
Meetings about meetings.
Meetings about meetings, okay. So solution to a problem is not organizing a meeting to talk about the problem, right?
How about Oliver? How about the product owner?
Changing the backlog with iteration,
Okay.
and accepting and waiting to feel the changes in there.
Right? Good. Anybody from behind? Come on.
The product.
I have a T-shirt.
The product owner seems not to be inside the team. It's from outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the product owner doesn't realize his role.
Okay.
It's important.
Here we go. Thanks for that.
I think we are almost full with right, George, do you have more plates on the whiteboard?
Looks very full.
Maybe another one?
Okay, so let's see some of the things that that we have here, and a few of the summaries that we wanted to bring up also to you.
Okay, so sprint changed in the middle of the sprint. I was adding a new task on the board, and I was putting in danger basically the commitment for the sprint. Although it happened after interim demo, so clarification session with the product owner, changing the goal in the middle of the sprint is not something that's good to happen. And basically the first two items are related. The user stories weren't clear enough for the team and for the product owner. That's why they needed to be enhanced during the sprint. And I was splitting 20 story points, user story, which means I accepted first in the first place very beginning user story in the sprint. I was kind of surprised. How come this user story it's on the board? So basically, the user story shouldn't be so big.
And also the product owner Oliver, I was really oblivious to things. So I was looking at the board and kind of see, oh, nice bump over there. What's that about? What do you mean that adding more tasks will actually miss the sprint goal? So I was really not understanding how my team was working. So for me, it all was like in La La Land. I was just thinking about my demo, and I was thinking about getting my stakeholders in, and I was ignoring what the team was doing for me. So really not understanding the Agile side of things and what we are supposing to do there. Also, everything around what we did was ignoring the design agency dependency. So me as a product owner, I was pretty much not making the link in between what the development team was doing, what the 7 teams of Jack were doing for me, and the design agency were producing things that they need to consume, so the wireframes and the design, and those guys need to develop on that. And we weren't really looking at that. That being said, how about some solutions that we see?
Okay, so one of the best practices is to introduce the definition of ready as a checklist to validate that the user stories are in a proper shape to be taken into the sprint by the team. Definition of ready can contain something like the user story should be written in a user story format. They should have clear acceptance criteria. The design, if that's the case, should be ready for the team to review it prior to the sprint planning. The size of the user story shouldn't be bigger than, let's say, 13 story points, and so on and so forth. So definition of ready is one of the very good practices. If the team, together with the product owner and the Scrum Master, agrees, will actually facilitate or allow the changes during the sprint. And proper backlog grooming, which is not something our product owner Oliver was referring to. Instead, it's a meeting or a series of meeting discussions, preparations to bring clarity around the backlog. So in these backlog grooming sessions, the product owner is presenting the team what's going to be in the next sprint from a release plan perspective. And together with the team, they are clarifying and they are enhancing the quality of the user stories. They are sizing the user stories, they are splitting the epic into smaller user stories, so they are actually preparing the next sprint. And by investing this time, so some teams could see having this backlog grooming meeting in the middle of the sprint as waste. Actually, when you do the backlog grooming prior to sprint planning, you are investing time, and the time allocated for sprint planning is decreasing.
Now, pretty much all of that has very little value if you have a product owner that doesn't understand why are we going to do those sort of things. So the first thing is first. We need to understand that in Agile, the development team is not a team. The product owner and the development team are the Agile team together. They are on the same boat. If the boat sinks, they are both going to sink. And whatever these guys are doing with the definition of ready and proper backlog grooming and whatever will remain just documents written down or discussions had if the product owner does not understand them, does not buy into the value of those things. So one of the key things that we need to do is to make sure that we act as Agile transformation partners for these guys, because they've engaged us to help them, and we act as people that actually, when we see something that we can improve, we talk to them, we get their buy-in. And pretty much, after we understood all of this, we can add all of these mechanics in, and they will begin to work. Add the design agency specific user story to the backlog. I mean, Oliver was ignoring all of that side of things. She was just, okay, I'm working with you guys, the design agency is somewhere over there, and in between you, it's just me discussing back and forth. He was actually supposed to do a backlog, common backlog. We were supposed to bring in the design agency into our scrum of scrums, make alignments in there. When we pick a particular story, make sure that we have a dependency on the design agency producing the wireframes, pick it up in the right order, make sure that we work with them to validate our definition of done. Because whatever we are going to do when we say it's done, if the design agency doesn't use the same definition of done, the end result is not going to be a shippable increment. Oh, hello. Hi, Jack. How are you?
Ethan, how are you?
Hey, good. Look, I knew you were in our London office, and I just wanted 5 minutes of your time to talk to you about something.
Yes, I'm at your disposal, please.
Jack, I have an issue with the visibility on the release planning, and I'm looking at what you guys are providing me so far, and I can't quite understand when we are going to finish some of this stuff. It's my business users are looking at me and are saying, I can't plan out my business, I can't plan out marketing campaigns. The key stakeholder needs to understand when to release major funds. I get all the Agile thing, and I get that it's going to be your best forecast for what you understand, but I still need to understand more of that. So what you're going to do about this?
Yeah, so I totally understand it's to have a release planning, it's mandatory, and yeah, it's something that it will give you the exact visibility. And basically, just we need to do it is to have some epics and large user stories and user stories that are clarified with the product owner, are sized with the team, given some story points, then take into account the velocity of the team. You'll be able to create a release planning, which will give you the milestones you are looking for. Unfortunately, in this context, it's a little bit difficult or harder to do it. You know, we don't we lack the visibility for the product. We don't have a clear roadmap or a clear vision. There are a lot of changes and. Changes.
Wait a minute, Jack. It seems to me like you're saying Oliver is not doing a good job. I know this guy for 10 years. I've been working with him on some important change projects in our company. He's a great guy. He does all the right stuff. I see him kind of organize all of these review meetings with all of my key business users. I see him discussing with all of my department leads. I see him organizing panels of decisions with all of these guys. And what you're talking about?
I hear you, Ethan. See, the product owner, as the Scrum Guide clearly states, is the one responsible and accountable for the product backlog creation. He's is the one that should bring in the product vision, transform it into epics, user stories, clarify those epics to the team, and actually responsible for the return of investment of the product.
Yeah, very interesting. But what are you going to do about it?
So just to give you an example, Oliver visited us last week in our delivery center, and he wasn't able to take a decision related to the CRM integration for the whole week. He wanted to organize a vote with the other stakeholders, and took a week up until he came up with a decision. In the meantime, the team took some decisions by their own, which proved to be wrong. So we need to throw away all of that work, and we were back where we started after 1 week.
Very interesting, very interesting. But what are you going to do about it?
So this is what I was trying to tell you. The product owner is wasting our time. It's not clean at all. It doesn't understand.
Okay, so you know the drill by now. What have we seen this time? Okay, that was a crash. You fix it.
The team needs to fix the problem. Okay, so I'm going to write this time.
No clear roadmap or vision.
Very good.
You do not discuss directly with the product owner first, and you escalate too quickly.
Now that's the best one. Here we go.
Actually, it's a lack of transparency to the stakeholders.
Yes, lack of transparency, that's for sure.
The team does not come with a solution, only with a problem.
That's exactly true.
I have one.
You have one. Here you go. You can play what you play with two deck of cards, canasta or something. There you go.
Okay.
The CTO is biased. He's clearly leaning towards his product owner and not the project manager, so he's always seeing part of the view. So
Indeed. He's definitely not understanding the whole context and what's going on in there. He was just looking at his guy.
One more.
Looks like a full house over there.
Okay.
So definitely, like you guys said, no clear visibility of the releases. That's one of the key things. Whatever we do, we are living in commercial world that is actually making money, and all of our efforts here, they need to be inspired. They need to go towards the goal, but nonetheless, we are working in a commercial context, and we need to acknowledge that. We need to help our clients make the right decisions by providing the right information. And this guy needed to plan something. He needed to leverage the right people in his organization, and he just didn't have that information. A lot of the things that I was saying as the CTO was around describing how big my organization was. I had department leads, I had senior business users, I had a lot of business representatives from a lot of things. And it looks like the PO was in a position that he was almost like navigating his way too hardly through this organization. He was, instead of being empowered and doing some of the decisions, he was actually taking this cover and putting the senior business user, putting those guys to vote for things, putting them to take decision in his place. He was not able to take the decisions.
So in Agile, the team embraced the change, but at the same time needs to pay very much attention around the reward part, because it needs to be also lean. Lean means do the stuff only one time. If you do it like 3 times, then you wasted 2 attempts. And this, when this happens, usually it has a big impact on the money, on the budget, and also on the trust between the team and the product owner. So they should work as one team, as Georgie already mentioned, and together try to navigate through the backlog and get it done well in the first time, or get it done just enough and just in time in order to not to have too much waste. And the product owner needs to be close to the team, needs to be available to the team, and needs to be empowered enough, needs to be able to take risk-based decisions for the team in order to minimize the waste. And also the Scrum Master it's not only the Scrum Master for the team, it's the Scrum Master for the whole boat, product owner, Scrum team, and the backlog in the end. And he's the one responsible of explaining and coaching Scrum to all parties involved. And he shouldn't just code from Scrum Guide. Instead, he should use his experience in bringing all the parties into this game.
You have the clicker.
And how to rescue.
By the way, when you have another idea or you see another angle on this, or you just plainly don't agree with what we put up there, let's not wait for the end for the questions. Let's jump in and say something about it, okay? So, one of the key things that we could do is to introduce the envisioning and roadmap. Now, it's kind of hard for a team to rally behind the cause if it doesn't understand the end goal. To do something about it, feel empowered, if it doesn't understand where you want to go at. And in Agile, it's one of those expressions that says that you are developing against a feature soup. So it's like, instead of understanding where do I want to get at, instead of understanding a vision, I'm only seeing a big pot in which all sorts of different requirements, user stories, are living individually. So it's like, I am seeing a user story that says something like, well, I'm developing a component to integrate with an ISO 9000 something applet in there to provide a payment transaction. Okay, that sounds interesting, that sounds fun, but if I'm saying like, I am doing a payment transaction engine that is going to enable 20 million transactions per day from credit cards, now that's something different, that's something I can get excited about, that's something I can understand as an end goal. So that's one of the very important things in Agile. If you want empowered teams, the product owner needs to rally them under a flag. He needs to work against this envisioning, and he needs to put a roadmap together. And if he doesn't quite get that, we as the Agile consultants need to help them understand the importance of that, need to help them go to that path. Then we were talking about this big organizations on there. Now, this is potentially one of the hardest things that you need to do. Sometimes there is a very sort of strong pushback from the people that you are going to go and talk to. But remember, they looked at you as the Agile transformation partner. They want you to come with solutions. They want to do double the impact with their money if possible. So they will listen to you if you have something that can convince them, if you have something that they can relate to. So one of the things that we will actually do is try and speak with these guys and make some organizational changes in their organization to empower the product owner. This is not going to work if for everything in there he needs to go back and do a vote with the entire panel. Maybe he's not senior enough, maybe the organizational change even is not going to work. Maybe we need to change the product owner to someone that is senior enough in there. He was mentioning all of those business users and the department leads. Maybe one of them has enough seniority in that organization to actually do this job better and get the support from that organization.
Introduce backlog grooming and forward planning. I already talked about backlog grooming. Forward planning, it's a little bit more than just grooming the backlog for the next sprint. It's actually creating, working against the release plan for a major milestone. And we always recommend to the customers to have a so-called future team composed of Scrum Master, Design Lead, Senior Tester, Senior Developers, which are working together with the customer in clarifying and enhancing the backlog at the epic level or maybe at the team level for the next milestones. And as already mentioned, the Scrum Master needs to be proactive, involved in spreading the Agile attitude, Agile values in the team, but also being part of the Agile transformation process with the customer.
Yes, as the CTO, I was constantly asking, what are you going to do about it? And he was kind of quoting nice things from the Scrum guy, but he was not trying to give me solutions. Hello, this is Sam.
Hi Sam, this is Jack. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. I'm calling you about your email related to the pre-prod environments incident. You've just
Right. So, look, Jack, I'm really not happy about what happened. I had to roll back all of your code from your project bench. I need to remerge everything from the other teams in a new release, and the whole pre-prod environments were down for more than half a day. Everyone sat on their asses. It was a lot of waste. I'm not happy.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about this. We understand how critical it is, and yeah, we did our investigation here. We tried to reproduce the issue on our test environment. We ran all the tests. Everything seems to be fine. Also the product owner accepted all the user stories at the end of each sprint. The acceptance criteria mapped over the test cases, all it's green. We have a very good suite of unit tests with high coverage in the code. The integration tests between the modules work fine, so everything is green. I don't think it's on our side. Trust me, we have a very strong definition of done, and everything works according to the definition of done we have. So I'm confident it's not on our side.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Let me ask you this. You needed to integrate with the settlement engine. How did you test that integration?
Yeah, so we found out that that integration it's AS400 code, and yeah, it's a legacy system. We met those AS400 guys, which seems to be very, very busy, and they weren't able to help too much. But we took some requirements from them, and we created a simulator to not to intersect too much with those strange guys.
Okay, so you will know then that our app support team actually is fixing bugs in that area, and in the process of doing that, they've actually changed a bunch of scenarios around the workflow of the settlements engine. Your simulator is definitely out of date, and when we actually merged all the code in the production, something hit a scenario on that area, and the entire system crashed. Oops. Okay, so
what did you observe this time? You know the drill. I think I still can spare some more penny poker cards and maybe one t-shirt. Okay. Wait until the microphone gets to you.
Okay, it's a problem with the integration, and they didn't check that the simulator for the test was out of date.
Right, so integration problem.
Yes.
Very defensive Scrum Master.
The Scrum Master was still defensive in his own world, right?
Wrong definition of done.
Yeah.
Definition of done, yeah?
Very good. That warrants a picture.
White or black?
Black.
Oh, okay.
Black.
Black t-shirt. The definition is strong. Okay. Anybody else?
Lack of communication between,
Yes.
because they need to know, okay, you are working on that component, they are what was on there, and they need to somehow communicate.
Right. So lack of communication between different parties. They are working on the same code base, but they are not integrating in any way one with each other. Anybody else?
Avoiding the most difficult scenario in testing.
Right. So not covering from a testing perspective, the end-to-end scenario.
Said like, no, they make assumptions without proving, without checking.
Okay, wrong assumptions.
Sam is not really listening project.
Sam is not really listening.
Yeah, I was really annoyed. Did it show?
When it's not the Scrum Master fault, why should the Scrum Master bother to listen to what the customer have to say?
Well, I would say when the Scrum Master thinks it's not his fault.
Okay.
I can also say that it was no escalation for an impediment that was identified. They tried to find a solution, but not the right solution. So the impediment was to be solved by somebody, maybe by the release manager itself.
Okay, good. So we have very good input from the room. Thank you very much for your contribution. It's very much appreciated. So not a good understanding of the release cycle, back to production. Basically, the team didn't understood the integration with the AS400 team at all. And even if they touch point with those guys at one time, they just ignore it. Because it was too difficult to work with those guys. Usually the legacy teams are very, very busy working on the existing code base and doing small changes to the live environment. And they won't be very much available to talk to you whenever you are in the mood to talk with them. So you need to make sure you allocate enough energy and resources and pay attention to those integration points. And when you start realizing that you are not in your own world, you are not working only by yourself, you need to pay attention when you are creating the release plan, and you need to add those touch points with any other systems in the release plan, not to forget about that.
Also, we were looking at a very siloed view of the definition of done. They were thinking about themselves, other teams, all teams, working on the same system. Is that system going to be ready? Is it a shippable increment if you are ignoring those teams?
It's a selfish definition.
Exactly. It's an incomplete and selfish and siloed definition.
Everything was fine for them.
Now, definitely the automation integration testing was missing over there, and that might be fine. We will have a lot of clients that will look at us and say, look guys, I can't just throw my entire business over the window. I can't post for 5 years and throw all of my back office systems that were built in COBOL and AS400 until you optimize everything and until you do continuous delivery practices. So that was missing, but there was no other approach there to compensate for that. Just ignore.
Okay, the rescue. So fully explore the better productions, include the release manager, include application support, the ops of teams into the meetings, organize Scrums meetings with all the teams that are working against those systems, and ensure everybody has the right visibility with whatever the other teams are doing, and have a clear definition around how the touch points, integration points are between those systems.
If the problem persisted, if it was visible at the Scrum of Scrums, they could solve it.
Yeah, they were able to solve it during the sprint and don't get that pre-live incident actually appear. And it was quite late, I would say, in the beta production. If you only got spotted in a maybe pre-product environment, which is a replica of the live environment.
Just don't hide it, because it's gonna be there in the end and bite you.
The problem is that they were not aware of it. They were not knowing that they were hiding something. So definitely, they need to enhance the definition of done. If it's not a shippable increment, and if it ignores when you are releasing, then it's not useful. They need to do something about it. Then, okay, we might not be able to change everything in a sort of a single iteration, but we need to do something about it. We need to introduce some special integration sprints. We need to work with the other teams on making sure that our systems come together nicely, and gradually introduce some continuous delivery practices. Actually sit down with those guys over there and explain what can you do to improve that, try and get buy-in, and put it down in a backlog as technical tasks.
Who can tell me from the room what continuous delivery means?
Delivering every build?
No, partial.
Continuous delivery means get something in the production after each sprint. So it's not potentially shippable increment, but shippable increment after each sprint. Which in real life, when we are talking about complex systems with the legacy code and everything, it's difficult. And costs you a lot of money.
So guys, this is pretty much everything that we wanted to share with you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We just wanted to leave you with a few jokes on the Lost in Translations. We have the great opportunity to work with a lot of British clients, and boy, do they have a way of twisting words. Some of the best things that we try to also squeeze in our conversation. I hear what you say. Usually means I disagree with what you're saying and stop doing that.
Quite good. So I was saying the design agency is quite good.
Yes, I've heard this one a few times in my days, and in the beginning I was really thrilled about it. This is a very brave proposal. I thought, wow, I must be doing really great, and they were actually looking, you are crazy, insane. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you.